Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game, and today, a look back at Wave 14's I.S.S. Avenger. Um, it's a mirror ship, it's a mirror NX ship, and as such, don't expect much. 2330. During the roll attack dice step, if there's an Ox power token beside your ship, gain +2 attack dice when attacking with your primary weapon. Yeah, so best you're getting here is 4. You can stick a secondary weapon on there. A weapon upgrade like a Type 8, upgraded phasers. I'd go Type 8. You can get to 5. That's potent. And maybe you can do some weapon shenanigans to get multiple secondary weapon or, primary weapon attacks. I think that's really the best you can do. Rule of 3, hurt the Avenger. Not that there was ever a ton you wanted to do to get lots and lots of dice, but still, without or with that hard cap getting to 5, there's just not a ton you want to do here. A double crew weapon tech is a nice set of slots, but again, it has its limits. The generic has not been recosted yet. That will come with These Are the Voyages, because the generic Fed ship will have that recost, and then it'll be better. But boy, does it lose a lot of slots. It loses a crew and a weapon slot, and as such, it's not playable. Please don't run that. Soval is a captain, skill 4. You don't pay a faction penalty when deploying any upgrades to your ship. That's helpful. I like it. So it'll save you points, but it needs more ability. He needs to do something extra to be better, as he is a bit overpriced. He can be nice on like a Regent's flagship, maybe the Mirror Kelvin Constitutions. That's a decent place for him. I'm just thinking of ships that have multiple upgrades. Even the Kelvin Klingon ships would be cool, because then you can bring in some defensive upgrades, and that could help. Black as a captain, not great. Action, perform a sensor echo with a 1 straight maneuver template. Even if your ship's not cloaked, doesn't have the sensor echo action on its bar. Each time you defend this round, you get to reroll one of your blank results, and then you place the Ox power token on your ship. So he does trigger Avenger. That much is good. But is he amazing? No. I think he's playable in the right set of circumstances. I'd say at best mission play. I still prefer him as the Admiral than the Captain, though. Gardner is a 3 skill, 2-pointer. No talent slot, and that hurts. But Gardner is an action to get an extra attack die, but then you have to roll 1 less defense die, and you can't do any free actions. And Gardner is one of the worst admirals in the game. We'll talk about that in a moment, but also a pretty bad captain as it is. So, has not improved, will not improve, and you can't change my mind otherwise. Gardner as an admiral. No skill boost, no talent slot, bad action. The only way I will ever play him is if somebody says you must run an admiral and I only have 2 points and I'm in Mirror Universe. Other than that, I'll run Black because he gives me a skill boost. He gives me the talent slot. He only costs 1 more point, and he has a useful action to sensor echo. And I get a slight benefit, even if it does come at the cost of the Ox power token. At least there's help for me. And some ships actually want that Ox power token to do stuff. Again, like Avenger. Sabotage as a 4-point talent. Action, discard this card, target a ship range 1 to 3. Target ship must disable 2 active shields if possible. If the target ship has no active shields, or if this action causes the target ship to have no active shields, then place an Ox power token beside the target ship. So again, this goes into the Vidian, the Klingon raiding or Klingon boarding party, the Neg Var, all the things that disable shields, make a ship more vulnerable. Projected stasis field, really at the heart of that. And if you can do enough of that, You can really mess with people's fleets. You can mess with their defenses. One-time ability to disable two ships, or one ship's shields 2 times, 2 of those shields. I don't think it's going to be everything, but the nice benefit of getting the Ox power in the right situation can help. Still, it's a discard. It's a little pricey, but it could be part of a kind of cool mishmash fleet. And so, again, I think in the right scenario, I'm all for it. It just has to be a very specific right scenario. Photonic torpedoes do not benefit from anything that would help photon torpedoes. But 4 dice, so helping you a bit there on the dice quality for only 2 points. And you get to fire from forward or rear firing arcs. And they're disable. I'd like to see a time token version of that. I don't know that we'll get them, but I can hold out hope. Still, they're okay. They do help the Avenger. The Avenger does have a rear arc, so a little more coverage, and I think Photonic needs to at least be a consideration when you're running the ship, because they don't have a lot of dice, and this gives you a chance to have a little more teeth with your attack. Plasma cannons, if we had a time token version of this, we'd be much better off. 3 dice, but a disable. Being able to fire from your forward or rear firing arc, it's nice coverage. I just want to be able to do it more frequently. I think 2 time tokens on this would be great. Every other turn you could attack with them. As it is, just a little bit not worth it to spend an action just for 1 more attack die. Or for the rear arc coverage. I mean, that much is worth it because you need to make the shot, but yeah, it's a bad trade-off. All right, emergency bulkheads. As an action, disable the card, flip all your crits face down if your ship is not cloaked and you have no active shields. Each time you defend this round, roll +1 defense die. Again, seems nice, but it's an action, and I feel like it needs to be a response to damage. Like when you receive a crit, you could disable this card to flip the crit face down without it taking effect. I'm not sure that would be worth 4 points, but I think it's close to half the crits take immediate effect and then flip down. So emergency bulkheads really doesn't do a lot. And if you're considering that this is essentially only good on mirror, probably really only good on a handful of ships, and that ship is not the Avenger, because with only 2 hull damage where you could do this, it's not worth 4 points to potentially save yourself from 2 crits. You're just going to write the ship off. The extra defense die is nice, but it's only 1 time. And you're not going to spend an action to roll an extra defense die every turn. It's not good enough. So, yeah, that's my problem there. Enhanced hull plating, very similar to the Fed version, except you can only buy it for a Mirror Universe ship with a hull value of 4 or less, which essentially means it goes on Avenger, Defiant, Galler, the Prakesh, I think Constitution, the Enterprise could take it. But you're adding up to 2 evade results. You can't even use this until you have no active shields. You take an Ox power for each evade token you add, and since it's optional, you can only do it once per round. I find utility on it on Defiant because you're already kind of doing this for Ox power, so you put more of this on it. In theory, it's not unique. So you can put on multiple different ships. It is ship unique, but it's a style. It's a, do you want to be super defensive? If you're in like a 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 battle, enhanced hull plating is great. It can keep you alive. But in the main big battles, it's not going to work because somebody just focus fires on you, and you can use it once and add 2 evades, and after that you're in a rough spot. Rough spot. There we go. Then we get Orion Tactical Officer. For 2 points, if you damage an opponent's hull with a crit, you may immediately discard this card to search for a weapons malfunction or a munitions failure. So munitions failure is having to discard a secondary weapon. Weapons malfunction, I think, is the one where their primary weapon value is reduced by 1. Please don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And then you reshuffle the damage deck when you're done. I mean, I find those cards good. Munitions failure at the right time is awesome. Crit to inflict on your opponent. It can ruin their day. Certain builds depend on those secondary weapons, taking out a disruptor sweep. The additional phaser array, even a Type 8 upgraded phaser, one of those. You are messing with somebody's build. And I like that. I think Orion Tactical Officer has some value as more of these secondary weapons that people want to use repeatedly. All the photon torpedoes. Orion Tactical Officer has value. You just have to be able to inflict that crit. I think Orion Tactical Officer with hidden explosives could even be good, because it doesn't say if you damage an opponent's hull with a crit from an attack. So I might try to finagle that wording. But yeah, I think there's something there. I think. At least it's intriguing enough to me. And then Andorian Helmsman. During combat, after you complete your attack, you can discard this card to immediately perform a 1 or 2 straight or bank. If you do so, you take an Ox Power token. And you discard Andorian Helmsman to do it. So this is a one-time kind of get-out-of-jail-free card. And I like the potential of it. These kind of move after you attack cards are really cool. I think Andorian Helmsman, in be it a mission where you're trying to get across the board, is very helpful because now you're moving ahead. In a mission where you're just trying to attack is also going to be very helpful because you're getting better positioning and your opponent isn't getting a shot back on you, hopefully. Cards like this matter. You do have to be able to have the attack in the first place, so there's that side of it. But I would say Andorian Helmsman's gone up in value only because there's more cards that synergize with Andorian Helmsman. When Andorian Helmsman only works once, you have things like Independent Chakotay, you have a Dax, you have... well, those are the ones that come to mind. But you have cards in that vein that give you the extra maneuvers to put yourself in good positions. Tuvok's the other one I was looking for. So yeah, the Avenger as a whole, kind of an interesting pack. Situational. Very situational. But a pack that I think fits some cool mission play. Fits some cool different ideas. It of course suffers from its mirror. Mirror, for whatever reason, kind of has a penalty built in, and I don't get it. I used to run a decent amount of Mirror. I thought Mirror was a really good faction for a really long time. And I think, aside from Kelvin, we just haven't seen enough in Mirror to actually help the Mirror universe do anything. And that's a shame. I hope that Mirror Universe gets some more play with the new faction packs, and hopefully, whether it's some better ships or some better upgrades that we get some cards that help it out. So I'm a fan of Mirror, and I like my Mirror Universe episodes. I really want to see a Mirror NX Enterprise. I think that would also be pretty cool. So I don't know that we're getting it. I highly doubt that we're getting it, but who knows? Maybe a flip card. We'll see. All right. That's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.